class 6 students. In the last class I will explain you about the term of friction, factors affecting the friction, and the types of friction. So today also we will continue with the same topic and we will discuss the four things today. Number one is the effect of friction. Second one is the reduction of friction, how the friction can be reduced. Third one is the application of friction, application of the uses of friction. And the last one is friction is a necessary evil, which means friction has both advantage as well as disadvantage. Now the first one is effects of friction. Various effects of friction are there. Now the first effect of friction is friction opposes the motion of a body and stops the moving body. That means the friction will oppose the motion of a body. It prevent the motion of a moving body, and finally it makes a body to stop. Example, if you roll a ball on the ground, the ball it rolls on the ground, and after traveling a certain distance, the ball finally it stops. That means when you roll a ball on the ground, the motion first in initial stage at the beginning, the ball will move very fast, and slowly what will happen? The motion of the ball it starts reducing, it decreases, and finally the ball will stop. That means the friction is produced between the ball and the ground, and therefore due to the friction, the moving ball finally it stops. That is the first effect. Second effect is friction causes heat. Now the heat is generated from the tire of a vehicle, from the machines, from the machinery parts, and also by rubbing your palm. It produces heat. The heat is generated. A very simple example is when you rub your palm, when you rub your two palms together, heat is produced, and this heat is produced because of the friction. And when the heat is produced, there is a loss of energy. And therefore, when the loss of energy takes place, the efficiency, which we call it as a ability or the capability of doing work by the machine, will be reduced. That means the efficiency will become less because of the heat which is caused by the friction. So the second point is heat. Friction causes heat. So heat is produced in the tire of a vehicle, in the machinery parts of the vehicle, and any kinds of machines which are in use, it causes heat. And this heat is caused due to friction. Third one is friction causes wear and tear. That means the wear and tear of a sole of your shoes. When you buy a new shoes, after a year or after 1 year or 2 years, okay, you have to purchase again new shoes. What happens here is that the sole of your shoes will get damaged. That means they get wear and tear. And this wear and tear is also caused due to friction. Because when you move or when you walk on the ground, there is a friction between the ground and the sole of your shoes, which finally makes the sole of your shoes to get damaged. So the third one is the friction causes wear and tear. And the last one is in a dry weather condition. In a dry weather condition, when the wind blows, there is a friction between the two dry leaves, and the friction between the two dry leaves catches fire. And this fire will spoil the environment, it damages the environment, or sometimes what will happen, it will spread that fire to the living areas, the people where they are living, where they are staying. This fire may spread to the living areas, and therefore it causes the loss of life and property. So this is about the effects of friction. Second one is reduction of friction. How the friction can be reduced? Friction can be reduced by using the lubricants or by applying lubricants like grease, oil, okay, all these things. These are the lubricants. Like if the machines does not work properly, if the machinery parts does not work properly, in that case you will put the oil or you will apply grease there. So oil and grease will reduce the friction and therefore the machinery parts can move properly. Okay, so by applying lubricants you can reduce the friction. Second one is by polishing the surface. By polishing the surface. When you polish the irregular surface, or the surface is irregular or the surface is unpolished, when you polish the surface, then in that case the friction can be reduced. Okay, and the next one is by applying ball bearings. Ball bearings means by using a bearing or some sort of wheel. Okay, instead of moving the object or sliding the object, it becomes very difficult. So when you place when you put the bearings on that object, so the bearing act as a wheel, okay, and therefore it becomes easy to roll the object. And the other one is by changing the sliding friction into the rolling friction. So to slide a heavy object or heavy box, it becomes very difficult. But when you place or when you put some wooden cylindrical wooden rollers under the box, it becomes easy to move the box. That means these rollers or the wooden rollers which you place under the wooden box, it will help to roll the box very easily. In that case, what will happen? The sliding friction will be replaced by the rolling friction. So the rolling friction, because the rolling friction, the box can move easily. So these are the way in which the friction can be reduced. Now the next one is the application of friction. That is the uses of friction. Various uses are there. Friction has got plenty of uses. Number one use of friction is, without friction you won't be able to walk. Okay, or without friction the tire of the vehicle will not be able to stop. So in a vehicle there is a groove. Groove means some sort of design which has been made in a vehicle. It's not actually a design, it's a groove, we call it. And that groove in a tire will causes friction, will produce friction, and because of the groove in the vehicle, the tire of the vehicle will not slip or it will not slide, it will stop. So that means the friction enable us to move, enable us to enable the object to stop. It helps to make a body to stop, as well as it helps to make a body to move. So friction help us to write on the paper or on your copy or on the board or on the blackboard or on a whiteboard, whatever it can be. Because there is a friction between, let us take an example, a pencil. When you write with your pencil on a piece of paper, there is a friction between the pencil and a paper. And due to friction, you can able to write it on the paper. Okay. Then also because of the friction, you can able to sit on the chair. Okay, the chair can remain horizontally on the surface. You can keep the chair, table, desk, anything on the ground. If there is no friction, then the chairs or any object will not be able to remain on the surface or on the ground. So that means friction plays a very important role here. So without friction, you cannot do anything. You cannot do any work. You cannot walk also, you cannot run also, you cannot move your body. So many uses or applications are here in friction. And even in a matchstick, when you light a matchstick, okay, there is a friction between the matchstick and a matchbox, and due to the friction, you can light a fire. So these are the applications of friction. The last one is friction is a necessary evil. Though the friction causes plenty of heat, there is a loss of energy. The efficiency of the machine can be reduced because of the friction. So that it has a disadvantage also. But though the friction produce lots of heat, the efficiency of the machine will be reduced. Okay, it generates heat energy. The life of the machines will get reduced. That means because of the heat which is generated in the machine, the lifespan of the machine will be reduced. That means you have to replace with a new machine. So there is a loss of money also. Okay, but at the same time, friction is very useful. Okay, it is useful also. It is harmful also. Harmful in the sense the loss of energy will be there. Okay, efficiency of the machine will be reduced. Okay, so many things are there. But at the same time, the friction has got uses also. It has got plenty of use also. So because of the friction, just I have told you, because of the friction, you can able to sit, you can able to stand, you can able to walk. Okay, you can able to run. So many things you can do in a practical life. So at the same time, friction is very useful. So therefore, we can say that friction is necessary evil. So for this, we can say, though it has got disadvantage also, it has got advantage also. So therefore, friction is considered as necessary evil. So we have come to the end of this the friction, the chapter friction. That is the topic friction. In the next class, we are going to start with the last portion, that is the non-contact forces. Okay, so in the non-contact after the non-contact forces, okay, we have come to the end of the chapter. Then I'll send you the PDF, the question and answers, and all the questions related with this chapter. Okay, so till then, please revise the chapter whatever I have discussed.